You see, if you don't tell your story, another person will tell it. It wasn't just passion, but passion, drive, and the need, the hunger to let the world see that I have something to offer. First of all, I've accepted my African identity.
Hi, welcome to The Reflective Shift. My name is Boma, and this is a space where we have conversations that reflect on the things that shape who we are and what we believe about ourselves, so that we can understand ourselves more deeply, question scripts that we have inherited and internalized, and figure out how we can make intentional shifts in the ways that we live. Can you introduce yourself for everyone? I'm sure they'll know you, but...
Well, for the sake of this interview, my name is Bob-Manuel Udokwu. I'm one of the pioneer actors, producer, director in Nigerian film industry, which today is known world over as Nollywood. Here I am in Frankfurt, Germany, to receive an award from the Nollywood Europe Awards. Here we are.
Congratulations on receiving the award. How do you feel to receive it?
It's always gratifying to know that people in far-flung places recognize your contribution in your own field and want to reward you with an award. And it's also a humbling experience because, we didn't start what we were doing thinking about awards, but people saw what we were doing and decided to honor us with awards. So it's a welcome development, and I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. When you first started, what was driving you? Was it just a passion for the arts or what?
No, it wasn't just passion. Passion is not enough. I realized very, very early in life that I have talent, creativity, which driving force was people need to see what is inside me. Because you might think yourself as the best singer because you sing in your bathroom. Mm-hmm. It's only when you sing to an audience that they should be the judge. So I knew that I had talent which the world ought to see. I went to school professionally I did some amateur work, and then eventually I went to University of Port Harcourt in Rivers State to study theater arts, get trained, developed properly. And fortunately for me, as Providence will have it, I graduated at the point in time when the calling was there for me to be part of what became history. That's Nollywood today. So it wasn't just passion, but passion, drive, and the need, the hunger to let the world see that I have something to offer in terms of my creativity.
Yeah.
So I'm being rewarded today by one of the groups. Yeah. Multiple awards have been coming, and so this is one of them.
Wow. So the way I'm interpreting that is you've always known that there was something inside you and you wanted to express it.
Oh yeah. It's always like that if there's something different in you that you want the world to know. It could be science, it could be art, it could be anything. But I believe that there's always this overwhelming urge to push it out. Like a woman is pregnant, may not really know when the baby is going to come, but when the time comes, the baby comes. There's that urge for that baby to come. So the world sees that, oh, this is it.
I really love that analogy. And also what you're speaking about, having something on the inside of you and wanting to express it and it taking time.
Yeah.
What happens if you're in an environment where they don't see what you have? Like, you have it, what you're capable of, but you're around people who don't believe it because they haven't seen it yet. Has that happened?
You hit the nail right on the head, because At the time I was starting, people didn't see my vision.
Okay.
I didn't readily get approval from my parents, for instance, because they didn't see the vision that I had. They didn't see my dream. They didn't see why I had to. So I had to more or less stand my ground, you know.
Yeah.
Well, maybe a little disagreement with my parents, especially my father. In my case, my mother was more sympathetic and understanding. My father put his foot down that, what are you talking about, you know? Because back then, it wasn't something that people wanted their children to do, you know, but the urge was quite overwhelming. And I wouldn't say I knew what was going to come, but something, an invisible force was right there behind. And at the end of the day, everything coalesced into getting admission, getting into Port Harcourt, finding out that the head of department of creative arts back then was a world-class theater practitioner, you know? And I was like, yes, now I'm going to double down and learn as much as possible.
Yeah.
You know?
How did that feel at the time?
It was overwhelming. It was for me, it gave me impetus to really study this field on and off class. You know, there are some things I learned from the man that ordinarily he probably wouldn't teach in class, because I more or less made him my mentor. You know, so even when, because he was a very strict person, even when students were not ready to like have close encounter with him except in class,
Yeah.
I was willing to be the one to approach him, and he saw the raw talent in me and the hunger to learn. So he took me under his wings,
Okay.
and I'm better off for it.
Okay, wow. And seeing how much Nollywood has grown, I think you were saying on the stage that it's now like
Number
three.
You know, Hollywood,
Yeah.
that's America, Bollywood, that's India,
Yeah.
and then Nollywood, which is Nigeria.
And so what are you most proud of, like in terms of the role you've played in being a part of it and driving it?
In answering this question, I'll say that the first thing I'm proud of is that Nigerian film industry, which is known as Nollywood now, has taught Africa to tell its own story, African countries.
Yeah.
I mean, before Nollywood, most stories out of Africa were told by the West from their own point of view.
Yeah.
You see, if you don't tell your story, another person will tell it, and will tell it from their own point of view, which is always biased. So today, Nollywood has succeeded in teaching other African countries to tell our own stories, because Africa is very rich culturally, you know, in terms of material resources, human resources, and rich cultural heritage and stories to tell the world. We haven't even scratched the surface. So I'm glad, I'm proud that I'm one of the pioneers of the movie industry in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And also being part of those who encouraged and taught other African countries to stand up for who they are, their own heritage, and tell their story to the world. That's part of where receiving an award in Germany, for instance.
Yeah, absolutely. And what do you think that does for people in Africa, but also in the diaspora, to witness that, to witness filmmakers and creatives like you driving it forward, being really self-determined, regardless of, I suppose, the challenges and the naysayers?
I think by and large, Africa is proud of us and the work we do.
Yeah.
Because everywhere I go across Africa, there's always positive response. Africa is proud, just like those who did us proud in politics back in the 60s, 50s, and going way back in time. Those who fought for independence across Africa, we recognize them. Africa knows that these people existed, And so coming down to our own generation as creative people, entertainment people, and we're able to portray Africa in the true way it ought to be, telling our own stories ourselves, I think it's something to be proud of. And I also think that it's something that Africa has exported to the world. For instance, I know that I've been to some parts of the Caribbean island, and I know that we have huge fan base there. Yeah, Nollywood has a huge fan base in the Caribbean, and of course, Europe, the Americas, because of the large population of Nigeria and other African nationals over there. So it's a thing of pride for people like me to know that we created a pathway for our people, both at home and abroad, to be proud of what we're doing, telling our own stories. So today we can clearly say that without apologies to anybody, we tell our own stories.
When I was growing up, watching Nollywood movies was a way that I would connect with my mum. And now that I'm an adult, it's a way that I feel connected with the Nigerian culture now. What is something that you would like people to take away from Nollywood? What's some of the messages you would like them to take away?
Africa has very rich culture. Apart from abundance of mineral resources, I have traveled across Africa and I've seen that we are rich. If I take Nigeria, for instance, where we come from, Nigeria is a country that has more than 250 ethnic groups and subgroups under that with their distinct languages, cultural heritage, and everything. So even Nigeria alone is a microcosm of Africa. Now enlarge it to about 54 countries across Africa, and you see that there's a whole lot that Africa taught the world and is still teaching the world. Africa may not be a powerhouse in terms of science and technology in today's world, but don't forget that first universities and places of learning were like from North Africa, like Timbuktu and all that. The great Mansa Musa, who was the richest man in the world at his own time.
So listening to you, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, you have so much information, so much knowledge.
Yeah, because I am interested in the heritage of our people as Africans. I mean, I'm not just talking about Nigeria alone. I talk about Africa as a whole. If you don't know about your heritage, you'll probably be subservient to other people. But if you know where your background is, where you're coming from, then you hold up your head high.
First of all, I'm going to say that everything that you've said is really inspiring for me personally. And it's because identity and cultural pride is really like what underpins my work, right? I would love some advice from you for everyone around, what can you learn about yourself, or what have you learned about yourself that you carry with you regardless of the environments you walk into, whether you're in Africa, whether you're in UK, like wherever you are, and no matter what challenges you face, what do you hold on to within yourself?
First of all, I've accepted my African identity as one who is created and planted in the continent of Africa for a reason. I'm not losing the sight of where I'm coming from as an African person who has a very huge, impactful heritage that is unique to our own way of life. In Africa, people don't name their children anyhow. Our names, for instance, carry deep meaning. Some names are reflective of where you're coming from. Some are like giving respect and praise to God. Some are reflection of circumstances the parents faced before the child came. For instance, the parents that didn't start getting children early, and one comes, the name probably will reflect the fact that we really waited for a long time for this joy to come. And in some instances, I'm just using Nigeria as an example, as a microcosm of Africa, where some names are a full sentence. In Igbo, Eastern Nigeria, where I come from, you can see somebody who answers Chizaram Ekpere. It's a full sentence, meaning God answered my prayer. Check those who gave that name. They'll probably tell you that it took us like 5-10 years before this child came, and we were praying.
I really love what you said, because for me, growing up, I really struggled with my name because people would make fun of it because it sounds different, obviously. And so it's really important for people to hear you say why.
Oh yeah, you see, I think every African child, young adult, and even adults should take pride in who they are. In today's 21st century, when you have media all over the place, the Western media still portrays Africa in very poor light. So the onus is on us to also push back and say, we are what we are and not what you think we are. And, like I see you today, you haven't changed your color. I see some young girls who probably know them 5-10 years ago, that they are really, real black people. And then you see them some years later and they are light. It's a sign that you don't accept who you are. But then we have some of our brothers and sisters in the West who are black, who have also put that in song, like James Brown, who have made a song long ago that says, I'm black and proud. James Brown. And things like black is beautiful, which it is. And for me, I'll tell the African women, you are beautiful the way you are. Traditionally, you are respected. You are like queens, and your color is unique. I hold about 4 traditional titles for different places. As a matter of fact, I wanted to wear one of my traditional with 2 eagle feathers tonight.
But why you didn't?
Somebody just said, Bob, you probably would look too overdressed.
Okay.
So I had to tone down.
Okay. Well, thank you. It's been such a pleasure to meet you and talk with you and to hear your thoughts. It will mean a lot. Your words will travel far. Yes.
It's a pleasure being here and talking to you. We as Africans do not owe anybody an apology for who we are. Wherever we are, we need to shine the light that people can see the road and make life better for those coming behind.